All right, welcome back to the UJ Chevrolet pregame show. Todd Morris with you here on the Bulldog Radio Network, and it's time to sit down with UMS-Wright head football coach Terry Curtis for our pregame interview. And, Coach, the 7-0 victory last Friday night over a previously undefeated Central Clay County team, one of the strangest games I've ever been involved in my history here. But, man, a defensive battle all the way. But I heard you even say it after the game, what a gratifying win for the program, for you, and for the team.
Well, it was. I mean, our kids have been looking for something positive to happen. We've talked a lot the last several weeks. What we've been lacking is confidence, and we needed a win against a quality team, and especially on the road. All the things you like. I really thought, other than the way the scoring ended up, that the way we came back there late against Williamson, you could kind of see the guys say, we can do this.
Yeah.
And so that gave us, I think, a lot of confidence. And then to go into that place this week and this past week and be able to do what we did, it really helped the kids. Now the hard part is to get them back and get ready for this week.
That was a later question, but we'll
that's
go.
Good. But no, we'll stay on that. But I was just proud of them. Our defense. We gave up some yards at times. We still missed some tackles in space, but we played really, really hard. And we had some. When you go back and really look at it, we had some big third down stops, third and shorts, where they would get in that wishbone and try to just run it right at our small guys. And they were up to the challenge. And really, I think that won the game, along with our punter, William Taylor, who I think we had to punt. I don't ever remember punting the ball 10 times.
10 times?
I don't ever remember punting it 5.
Yeah.
And we had to punt it 10 times, and there was about a 15, 20-mile-an-hour wind.
Yep.
And that always gets in a kicker's head. And he just kept booming that kick after kick, where he kept them on their end of the field where they could not get a break. And on offense, even though we didn't do a whole lot, we didn't have any turnovers.
Right.
We didn't give them a short field. And it's kind of how we won the game, that they did give us one.
Yeah, because as I'm sitting there watching the game unfold, I kept thinking to myself, Coach Curtis is not going to call anything to put us in a bad situation because our defense is playing so well. And you could just feel that in the game. You're like, all right, things are going our way. Let's just don't do anything here to mess this up.
That's right. Most of our pass routes were even basic, especially in our own territory. And, when we finally got the break, and I was, that was probably the turning point. We used a lot of clock. We slowed down the game a little bit, and they were slowing it down too with what they were, doing what they were doing, running the ball. And, and I kind of told Jay last Sunday in talking about it, I said, look, we got to stop them from running.
Yep.
I know for a fact he don't like to throw the ball. So Jay had a 3-man front, 4-man, 5-man, 6-man, I think even a 7-1 kind of deal. But I sit out there in the second half and look, and we sitting there in our base defense doing it. And that means they've learned their gaps, they've learned their responsibilities. And we were sitting there in our stacked defense playing against a wishbone and all.
Yep.
And pretty much stalemating.
And our linebackers had great games. They had a ton of tackles, but that goes to those 3 guys down front keeping those offensive linemen off of them. And then if you're not watching the game up really close, you don't really see what they're doing. But for their size, those 3 guys really did a heck of a job helping Kaplan, Reed, and Jeff Holston get to where they needed to go.
Exactly. We played with 4 guys. I need to mention those guys, with C.J. Stewart, Andrew Cook, and Luke Lambert playing the nose, and then big, tough Mac McGinley playing the other end. And, that was special. Those 4 guys played most of the game and did a great job and let the linebackers make some plays. And our leverage was good, and our containment was good.
And then Perry Hand having to drop down and be that outside rush guy caused the only turnover of the game on what I thought was a great individual play that he made to cause that turnover and then keep that ball alive.
But he kind of did. It was kind of funny in looking back at it on film because we've been on it so hard about, he likes to go down in there on the zone read stuff and take that guy and let the quarterback go. And I think he had that situation where they were sitting there together, and all of a sudden, he said, "What do I do now?" So he just said he went and hit both of them.
That's funny. But the other storyline of the game, going into last week was the coaches, you and Coach Horn, and all the similarities and everything. I thought they were very gracious. It was a great place to play. What was the discussion with Coach Horn after the game? Was there any talk about the game or how'd they feel?
No, he was just gracious as always. He said, I'll be pulling for you to win it all. Keep winning. You got a great club. And it hurt too, Todd. Their running back had got hurt the week before, and you could kind of tell he was kind of their leader. And you could tell that they missed him. Number 5 was a good running back,
right.
But I think 15 brought some other stuff to the table that maybe they were missing in the game. But, man, I mean, you ride on a 2-lane road, and all of a sudden, right out in the middle of nowhere, you come on this big, beautiful campus school. I mean, what a fine facility. I mean, stands from end zone to end zone. And man, they could not. They had people in our locker room the whole time, meeting our every need. They fed us hamburgers and all after the game. Even after the game, they were coming up and said, "Man, what a great honor to have y'all here to see our place," and all that's in defeat.
Yep.
And that's the way it should be.
Right.
And I had no doubt it was going to be like that. I was just surprised at the size and of the school. And, man, I was thinking before the game, I said, I see how Alabama feels now. They sitting there playing that Rocky Top just nonstop. And I said, man, I hope they don't play this the whole game, and they didn't play it as much as the game went on.
Yeah. So now here we are on to round 2. On the road again. We were all wrong last week thinking we'd be at home, but it goes to the higher seeded team here, and because travel's the same. So Headland's a 3 seed, we're a 4 seed, so they're 9-2 on the season. A little different look than what we saw last week. They've got some athletes that can run. Talk about Headland and what y'all have been working on this week.
Well, about the same ones we saw last year.
Yeah.
They're seniors now. 84, the big tight end, wide receiver, middle linebacker, defensive end, wherever they want to put him. He's their kind of bell cow. The quarterback hurt us last year. He's a dual threat guy. He can throw. He likes to run. Tough. Will run. Number 1, who was number 13 last year, caught the long pass on us. He's back, plays wide receiver and corner. So it's about the same guys. They are missing some linemen and some other folks, but most of their secondary people and all do play both ways. But very formidable. They scored a lot of points.
Yep.
And on everybody they played. I think the only 2 games they lost was against the 2 people in their region, Eufaula and Charles Henderson. So, we'll have our hands full going there. Don't know, never been there either.
Nope.
So this will be our second week in a row that we go somewhere we've not been. I'm not sure about their facility and what it's going to be like, but, our kids have been to places like that.
Yeah.
They've played on the road. That should be a non-factor. Now, whether we're good enough to beat them, we'll have to find out. And, Todd, let me just say here, we are really close on offense.
Oh, I know.
We are.
You're not
one
I
missed
know.
block here, one guy missing his man here, people wide open, and we miss a protection. It's always like it's just one person, and it's not the same person.
Yep.
All the time. Then we'll have one open, and the quarterback won't get it there, or we'll have a drop, or it just seems like every time, and we just need some good stuff to happen.
Yep.
So hopefully this will be the week, because we are close offensively to making some plays. And
You mentioned it earlier. How do you get the intensity back up for this game after last week's game was so emotional and so high intensity? How do you keep it going?
Well, I told them Monday in talking to them, I said, guys, Friday night with a memory, you will keep forever. I said, I can go back to 2010. Those guys still talk about going to McAdory. The team still talks about beating Pike Road. They don't really talk about the state championship game. They talk about some of those games where they were not the favorite, an underdog, and went and proved people wrong. I said, y'all got a memory. So let it be a memory until we get through with this thing. We've got another game this week. We're still playing. You win, you play, you lose, you go home.
Yep.
So we've got to continue to prepare and practice. And Lord, it was a rough week in practice, but they kept their focus with all the rain all 3 days. So, I think, that should not be a factor either. If they're the kind of guys that I think they are, they'll be ready to play Friday night. If that's good enough, good. If not, just be able to look in that mirror and say, hey, I gave my best.
That's right. That's all you can ask for from a bunch of teenage boys, man. That's all
you've ever asked
Yeah.
for. Just, hey, give us your best. And that's what I told them before the game the other night. I said, hey, if we get beat and you can walk and look at that mirror tomorrow and smile, what can I say?
Yep, that's it. All right, Coach, thanks for joining us on the UJ Chevrolet pregame show. As always, we enjoy sitting down talking with you. And again, hopefully we're back here doing it again next week. And always good to be playing Thanksgiving.
That's right. Always good to be playing Thanksgiving. And we have to keep it. I don't know how we're going to do the show next week.
We'll figure it out.
Be out of town.
Yeah, who knows? We'll get it figured out. All right, on to round two. The 7-4 Bulldogs tonight on the road facing the Headland Rams. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with more on the UJ Chevrolet pregame show right here on the Bulldog Radio Network, Sports Talk 99.5 Mobile, an iHeart radio station.